Good morning. It's April Fool's Day. Yay. I hope you do something fun and not too mean. I'm very gullible, so I would take any April Fool's joke, so don't do it on me. But do it on somebody else in your family, right? Today's an exciting day, quarantine or not. But we are going to start 8.7. Surface area of pyramids. Before we start, I want to tell you that a fair amount of the notes you are not writing down. I'm going to give you kind of the background as to why this formula works. I'm going to explain a few things, but I'll let you know when you need to write. As of now, you do not need to write. I will highlight what you need to write. So 8.7 surface area of pyramids. Yesterday we found the surface area of prisms. So we had rectangular prisms and triangular prisms. Today we are working with triangular pyramids and rectangular pyramids or square pyramids. So we are already familiar with the two words lateral face and slant height. So lateral face is not the base, it's the triangle that connects the base to the vertex up here. The slant height is the height of that lateral face. So it's not the height, if this were a triangular pyramid, it's not the height of the base, it's the height of the lateral face. So the triangle that is slanted, which is why it's called the slant height. So to find the surface area, if we just think about it realistically, without any math related, we should find the area of the base, find the area of each lateral face. So in this case, there are 4 triangles, right? 4 lateral faces, and then add them all together. So that's what we're going to do. However, we're going to, I'm going to show you kind of the background as to why we use kind of a different formula. But so the lateral surface area uses the symbol, and here's what I want you to write down. Uses the symbol LA, lateral area. Then for the formula, we're going to use a capital P, which means perimeter of the base. Let me make that look more capital. And then my pen is not working. Okay. And then a cursive L for slant height. Now, when we get into the base of, like the area of the base, if the base is a rectangle, we use length times width to find the area of that base. So the L for slant height looks very similar to the L for length when you do length times width. So just be careful of that. Alrighty. So the lateral area. To find, again, you don't have to write anything down other than what I highlighted, but I'm going to start writing over here. The lateral area, to find the area of just this triangle, we would do 1/2 base times height, right? So this would be the base, and then we'd have a height. So to find the area of all of them, since they're all the same, because we're talking in this section, we're using regular polygons, so this would be a square, so all of the bases really would be the same. We would do 1/2 base times height times 4, right? Because we've got 4 of those triangles. Now, this does not look the same as this. However, it is the same. And that's because the commutative property tells me that I can multiply in any order, right? So instead of doing 4 times 1/2 times base times height, I could do 1/2 times 4 times base times height. Now 4 times this base, if this is the base, 4 times that is really just going to give us the perimeter, right? Which is why we use this P over here. So instead of doing 1/2 times base times height times 4, we're going to use the formula 1/2 times the perimeter of the base times the slant height. It cuts down a little bit on our formula. So the perimeter of the base would be, if the base here were 2 inches, well, the perimeter of the entire figure would be 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, right? So 2 times 4, so it would be 8. We would get the same thing if we put 8 here for the perimeter, or we did 4 times 1/2 times 2, and the height we can say is, 1 inch. We would get the same thing no matter which formula we would use. But for the sake of keeping us consistent and kind of shortening the amount of stuff that we write, we will be using this formula. So again, you don't need to be writing down anything other than what I've highlighted, this boxed out area. That is what you need to write. I'm just giving you the reason as to why that formula is what we're going to use. All right, so that formula gives us the lateral area. So that gives us the area of all 4 of the triangles. But we also have to add it to the capital B, which is area of the base, and that will give us our total surface area. Now, this, again, I'm going to highlight what I need you to write down, what I just boxed out. That's what you need to write. The words, it's frozen, there we go. The words are just explaining what I'm going to explain. But this is the total surface area. This is our formula for total surface area. Oh, my pen is being funky. There we go. Total surface area. So the symbol is surface area equals capital B, and remember capital B is area of the base, plus lateral surface area. Lateral surface area is 1/2 times the perimeter times the slant height. Now, you are going to write it like this because that capital B will change depending on what type of pyramid you're working with. If it's a triangular pyramid, well, capital B is going to be 1/2 base times height. If it's a square pyramid, it's going to be length times width, right? So that is our original, and then we'll break it down from there. Now, you can write what's in orange. Let's go ahead and actually write that down because, again, like I said earlier, we are working all with regular pyramids. So the base is a regular polygon, which means all sides of the base are the exact same. So all of our triangles will be equilateral, all of our rectangles will be squares. So go ahead and write what's in orange. We are not going to worry so much about the net, but again, this part, if you can draw it, you're welcome to. I couldn't, so that's why I stole it from the book. But these are the kinds of things we're looking for. The base, sometimes they'll give us the area of the base, which is awesome because it means we don't have to plug into that 1/2 base times height or the length times width. Sometimes they'll just give it to us. But we need to pay close attention to the slant height versus the height of the triangle if the base is a triangle. And again, I'll point that out as we go. But the vertex, all of the lateral faces come to a point, meet at a point, and that's the vertex. Again, we're not going to work so much with the net today. We have already written down what is in this bubble, so do not write it down. This is what I explained earlier. For the perimeter, this P, I will break it down so you see how I got the number for the P, just so you know, for the perimeter. Alrighty, again, we've already written this down, so do not worry about it, and let's go ahead and start example 1. Example 1. Okay, so find the total surface area of the pyramid and round to the nearest tenth. So our very first step is to write our original basic formula. To find the surface area of a pyramid, we add the area of the base to the lateral surface area. Now, in this case, for the base, this is a square pyramid. So if the base is a square, the area of the base will be found by doing length times width. Plus the lateral area. To find the lateral area, we're using the formula 1/2 times the perimeter times the slant height. So this is our formula broken down. Surface area equals length times width plus 1/2 times the perimeter plus the times the slant height. So on your homework, I have written two things off to the side. I have written here, I would put square pyramid. And then that tells me that my perimeter will be found by doing 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, because the sides are 4 inches. So that's what I'll write to the side, so automatically you should know where I got the value of P. All right, so now I'm going to plug in what I know. The length is 4. The width is also 4 because it's a square. Plus 1/2. Now the perimeter, so 4 times 4 gives us 16. The slant height is that 9 inches because that's the height of the lateral face. So the slant height is 9. Alrighty, so surface area equals 4 by 4. You've got to be 16 to drive it. 1/2 times 16 gives us 8. 9 times 8 is 72. And we get 88. 16 plus 72 gives us 88, and it is inches squared because it is area. Alrighty. So once we have, once we write down our formula, everything else is just kind of given to us. We've just got to plug in. We will not be solving for some value that we don't know. So we will not be using inverse operations at all in this section, just so you're aware. Alrighty, example 2. Find the total surface area of the pyramid with a base area of 111 square meters. Yay, so they give us the area of the base, which makes our life easier. We love it. Alright, so we start with our basic formula. The surface area equals area of the base plus the lateral surface area. Now, for area of the base, because this is a triangular pyramid, normally I would break this down and say 1/2 base times height. However, they give us the base area, so I'm going to go ahead and take it from there. So it's 111 plus. Now, here's where we do need to break it down. The lateral area, we find that by using our 1/2 times perimeter times slant height. And then to the side, I would put triangular pyramid, which means my perimeter will be found by doing 16 plus 16 plus 16. So 16 times 3 gives us 48. So I'm going to plug in 48 for that perimeter. Now the slant height is 20 meters. All right, so surface area equals 111 plus, I'm going to do 1/2 times the 20, which is 10. So 10 times 48 gives us 480. And 480 plus 111 will give us 591. And it's meters squared. Alrighty. So again, we're just kind of plugging in what we know. You've just got to be very aware of what kind of pyramid you are working with, square or triangular. Alrighty. Next one, find the surface area of the pyramid. So the first thing I need to do is start out with my original formula. Surface area equals area of the base plus the lateral surface area. Now, for your homework, I have been noticing that some of us are kind of dropping off with the work that you are showing. I am holding you to the same expectations that I would hold you to in class. If you do not show all of your work, if you are not showing this original formula, if you are not breaking it down, then you will lose points. It's out of 5. It's a completion, just like a normal grade that you would get in class. I will not give you 5 points if you do not show the work. You are in an advanced math class. We're moving quickly. I need to know that you are doing what is expected of you. Alrighty? If you moved on and you were at Notre Dame or Covcath Math right now, the expectations are the exact same. They are not more lenient because of these NTI days. Because it's math and because you're in this advanced math class, you have got to continue working to the potential and to the expectations that we have when we're in class. All right, so back to the notes. Triangular pyramid. Since it's a triangle, we are finding our perimeter by doing, let's see, we've got 10, 10, and 10. So it's going to be 10 plus 10 plus 10. All right, in the base, we find the area of the base by doing 1/2 base times height. We find the lateral area by doing 1/2 times the perimeter times the slant height. All right, so surface area equals 1/2. The base of the base, right? So we're looking at just the triangle at this point. The base of that triangle is 10. The height of that triangle is this 8.7. This bottom dotted line, again, it has to be perpendicular to the base of that triangle. That is the height of the triangle. This 12 feet, that is the slant height. You can see that it's kind of slanted, so that gives you a good idea that it's the slant height. All right, height is 8.7. Okay, plus 1/2. The perimeter is 30. And the slant height is 12. Alrighty, so 1/2 times 10, we get 5 times 8.7. We get 43.5 plus 15 times 12, because 1/2 times 30 is 15. We get 180. And 43.5 plus 180, we should get 223.5 feet squared. Alrighty. So, again, just be sure you're aware of what figure you are working with, and that'll help you break down your capital B and your lateral surface area. Let's do our last example. Sal is wrapping gift boxes that are square pyramids. So right off the bat, I'm going to start with my, well, because it says how many square inches of cardstock, so we know that we're finding our surface area equals capital B plus lateral area. So square pyramid, all right. They have a slant height of 3 inches. So I'm going to break this down, 1/2 perimeter times slant height. So I'm going to put slant height of 3 inches. Base edges that are 2.5 inches long. So we know it's a square. We know the base edge is 2.5. So to find our perimeter, we would do 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5, or 2.5 times 4. That's first 2.5. Okay. And we know that for our area of our base, it needs to be length times width. And since it's a square, our length is 2.5, our width is 2.5. And our perimeter will be 2.5 times 4. And since 2.5 plus 2.5 is 5, 5 plus 5 is 10. Times 1/2. Alrighty, and 2.5 times 2.5, we get 6.25. 1/2 times 10 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 6.25 gives us a surface area of 21.25 inches squared. Alrighty, so that is our last example. Let's go ahead and start some Godits. We are only doing the Godits A and B on page 679. So go ahead and pause the video. I would like you to complete those Godits on your own and then check your work with mine. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. Godit A, find the surface area of a square pyramid that has a slant height of 8 centimeters and a base length of 5 centimeters. So I'm going to start with my formula, my original. Surface area equals capital B plus lateral area. Since it's a square, my B is length times width. Lateral surface area is always 1/2 perimeter times slant height. And it's a square, so perimeter I will find by doing base length of 5. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. And that's our perimeter. And our length and our width, again, since it's has a base length of 5, the length is 5, the width is 5. So 5 times 5 plus 1/2. The perimeter is 20, and it says the slant height is 8. Alrighty, surface area equals 5 times 5 is 25. 1/2 times 20 is 10. 10 times 8 is 80. 80 plus 25 is 105, and it's centimeters squared. Alrighty, got it. B, again, I'm going to start with my originals. So surface area equals area of base plus lateral surface area. I'm going to go ahead and break down lateral surface area because it's always the same. 1/2 times perimeter times slant height. All right, now area of the base. It says find the total surface area of the pyramid shown, and it is a triangular pyramid. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. All right, so we need to look at that and see what is the base of the triangle, what is the height of the triangle. Again, the base, the bottom triangle. So the base of the triangle is 12. The height of the triangle is 10.4. So 1/2 times 12 times 10.4 plus 1/2. Now, because this is a triangular pyramid, the perimeter will be found by doing 12 plus 12 plus 12. Alrighty, and 12 plus 12 plus 12, we get 36. The slant height is 15. Alrighty, so 1/2 times 12, we get 6 times 10.4. We get 62.4. Half of 36 plus 15, we get 33. Okay, 33 plus 62.4. Oh, hold on, wait. I was like, that's not right. Times 15. There we go. Not 33. It's 270. Okay. 270 plus 62.4 gives us 332.4. Surface area equals 332.4, and it is meters squared. Alrighty. Now, this is not a ton of work, but you do need to show it for every single problem on your homework. Again, that is your completion grade. It's out of 5. You will not earn 5 points if you do not show all the work. Please let me know if you have any questions. And once again, happy April Fool's Day.